When television, radio, and print meet convergence, it can be a massive shift. So what is convergence journalism?
Convergence journalism is combining all the platforms of our industry of journalism. So that means it is print, television, social media platforms, radio. It is combining all of the areas of mass comm.
Well, I see convergence journalism as sort of the combination between all of the different forms, traditional forms of journalism. If you think of print, radio, and television, if you're a television station, you have to have a print or online presence. Same thing if you're radio, it's good to have a written presence online, and occasionally you can do video. And then for a print publication like us, it's really important to keep up with all the different ways that people consume their media.
And that consumption is ever changing.
We have gone through an evolution of media platforms. It's not television, it's not just television anymore. Television incorporates print journalism, it incorporates social media, and we have to update those platforms all the time. So what we're doing throughout the course of the day is that we're taking new information as it comes into us, we're turning it around and making it suitable for each one of those platforms.
I started as a radio major in college and switched to print as my major, and so I already had familiarity with radio and how that works.
I've handled the changes while working in the industry by being on top of things. You had to see 10 years ago where the industry was going, and you have to be ready to move.
And move you do, but despite the preparation in college, some find it difficult to keep up.
The challenges that we, and quite honestly, sometimes are still going through, is getting everyone on board, that our product on air is as good as our product online. I can't tell you a week that goes by where we're not pushing reporters to tweet more or to do a Facebook Live, or where we're not thinking about whether or not we should carry a press conference live on the web. We may not carry it live on the air, but we'll carry it live on the web. And that way people who are on their phones or sitting at their desk have access to that, and we chose not to carry it on air because there are certain programs that we just don't want to interrupt.
Fewer interruptions and fewer news access comes through ever-changing technology.
The longer you've been in the business, I mean, I'll just, give you real talk. The longer you've been in the business, the harder it is to stay up with technology. There are a lot of people here who have been here for many, many years. So think about talking to your parents or your grandparents about how to use new technology, how to use a smartphone. Well, then you take somebody who's been on the air or in this building who is going through the same learning curve, but now they're trying to figure out how to do it the way that it pertains to getting their job done.
I think the first thing you need is a good foundation in overall journalistic principles. No matter what you do, the same rules are going to apply. If you're doing audio, video, print, online, there's so many foundational elements as far as technique and law and things you can and can't do, and things people in power will tell you can't do when in fact they're wrong, and you need to be able to call them on that.
With that in mind, a true journalist doesn't want to be called out for their personal bias.
To be fully prepared for convergence journalism is all of them. And while you're doing that, making sure that your social media footprint is clean, that what you have out there represents who you are, because trust and believe that employers are going to be looking at that. You need to also make sure that you're managing it well. What are news stories? I'm a senior, I'm going to be applying. Should I be tweeting about good news that's happening? Should I be tweeting about some of the news stories that are happening? And then you also have a responsibility on those platforms to keep your opinions silent. Because if you're going to go into the industry, we don't take sides. We play it mainstream, right down the middle.
Another thing journalists do is constantly learn.
It's hard to keep up with the learning curve. I personally transitioned into weather. After I was a news reporter for probably 15 years, I went back to school because I needed to get the technology base to understand how to change with my job. So I had to evolve. Going back to school meant getting another degree. So I had to get a degree in order to keep up. And keeping up is exactly what I needed to do to be able to change with my job. So at many levels, from a phone to a degree and everything in between, getting your job done through this business through the course of a day means you have to constantly think, and you just have to constantly stay on top of the curve.
A curve that has future convergence journalists learning to use social media platforms, staying professional, and being open to change. Are you ready?